Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. My name is Lily Tran. Today's story we will be reading is the life of Sariputta, compiled and translated from the Pali text by Nayana Panika Thera. Part 2, Maturity of Insight, the Elder's Relatives. As we have already seen, the Venerable Sariputta was born into a Brahmin family of Upatissa village, or Naklaka, near Rajagaha. His father's name being Bhaganta and his mother Sari, he had 3 brothers, Kunda, Upasena, and Ravata, and 3 sisters named Kala, Upakala, and Sisu Upakala. All 6 took ordination and attained arahatship. Kunda was known by the name Samanudesa, meaning the novice, in the Sangha. Even after becoming a bhikkhu, this was to distinguish him from the elder Mahakunda. At the time of Sariputta's death, Kunda was his attendant, and it was he who informed the Buddha of his passing away, bringing with him the chief disciple's relics. This story is told in the Kunda Sutta, an outline of which will be given elsewhere in this book. Upasena, who came to be known as Vagantaputta, or son of Vaganta, as Sariputta is son of Sari, was said by the Buddha to be foremost among those of all pleasing deportment, or Saman Tapa Sadika. He died of a snake bite, as it related in the Salatayana Samyutta, Bhagga 7, Sutta 7. Ravata was the youngest of the brothers, and their mother, wishing to prevent his seeking ordination, had him married when he was a very young boy. But on the wedding day, he saw the grandmother of his future wife, an old woman of 120, stricken with all the signs of decrepitude. At once he became disgusted with worldly life. Escaping from the wedding procession by ruse, he fled to a monastery and was ordained. In later years, he was on his way to see the Buddha when he stopped at a forest of acacia trees, or Kadira Vana. And while spending the rainy season there, he attained arahatship. After that, he became known as Ravata Kadiri Vaniya, Ravata of the acacia forest. The Buddha distinguished him as being the foremost among forest dwellers. The 3 sisters, Kala, Upakala, and Sisupakala, wishing to follow their brother's example, became nuns after their marriage. In marriage, each of them had a son who was named after his mother, Kala or Kali, and so on. These 3 sons were also ordained, being received as novices by Ravata Katravaniya. Their good conduct was praised by the Venerable Sariputta, who met them when he went to see his youngest brother who was ill. This is recorded the commentary to the Theravada v. version 42. Kala Upakala and Sisu Upakala, as nuns, are said to have been approached by Mara with taunting and tempting questions, to which they gave excellent replies. These are recorded in the Theragatha and Bhikkhuni Samyutta. In contrast to all these, Sariputta's mother was a staunch Brahmin and hostile to the Buddha's teaching and his followers. In the commentary to the Dhammapada, or version 400, it is related that once, when the Venerable Sariputta was in his own village of Nalaka with a large retinue of monks, he came to his mother's house in the course of his alms round. His mother gave him a seat and served him with food, but while she did so, she uttered abusive words. "Oh, you eater of others' livings," she said, "when you fail to get leavings of sour rice gruel, you go from house to house among strangers, licking the leaves off the back of ladies. And so it was for this that you gave up 80 crores of wealth and became a monk. You have ruined me. Now go on and eat." Likewise, when she was serving food to the monk, she said, "So, you are the men who have made my son your page boy. Go on, eat now." Thus she continued reviling them, but the Venerable Sariputta spoke not a word. He took his food, ate it, and in silence returned to the monastery. The Buddha learned on the incident from the Venerable Rahula, who had been among the monks at the time. All the bhikkhus who heard of it wondered at the elder's great forbearance, and in the midst of the assembly the Buddha praised him, uttering the stanza: "He that is free from anger, who performs his duties faithfully. He that guards the precepts and is free from lust. He that has subdued himself, he that wears his last body. He it is I call a Brahmin." It was not until right at the close of Sariputta's life that he was able to convert his mother. That story will be told later on, but the incident that has been related here leads us to a consideration of the great elder's most pleasing characteristics, his humility, patience, and forbearance. Namo for the mental teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo for the mental teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo for the mental teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha.